Good morning. I hope everyone is doing a wonderful today. It's a little early for me. I usually don't record until the afternoons, but I wanted to give it a shot just to see if the lighting was better, to be honest. That's kind of like the biggest thing I feel like I'm running into. Other than that though, I thought it'd be fun today. I have a couple plants I've been wanting to repot. There's more, but I'm still deciding on what I want to do with them before I repot. I thought we would go ahead and do some repotting today and talk about the plants. And I am gonna do another update on the bookshelf. This will be my last update. I know I could probably do an update every single week if I really wanted to. I just want to show where I ended up with and like what my choices were. And I'll even talk about some of the future plans, I think, of like what I want planted there. I have some very beautiful pottery that is kind of waiting for plants as well too. And I kind of know which ones are gonna go in, but I'm not gonna do it yet for plethora of reasons. Besides the point, let's go through and let's get started with the repot. First plant on the list today is going to be a philodendron. It is a philodendron Red Congo. I don't know the Latin name at all. I don't think it's a Urbescence. I'll double check though, but here it is in all of its glory. I got this thing from like Lowe's. I don't even know, to be honest. It hasn't been a year, but it's probably getting close to a year. It's been giving me new growth like crazy. I've never had issues with this plant. I don't usually have issues with philodendrons, I feel like. I think it's because I do get a lot of natural light, and I feel like that's like the thing that they just want is just good lighting and to dry out in between watering. So that's kind of what I've been working with. It's, like I said, it's been doing great. It has like a little offshoot. Hey dude, what are you doing? You wanna be a part of the video? This is Blue. He is a very shy cat, so I'm surprised he's showing up. He usually doesn't like the camera. You having fun, buddy? All right, and he's good to go. When it comes to this one, it has been giving me like a whole other like second growth point, which is kind of why I want to repot it. I also want to stabilize it more and see if I can get it to not be leaning over. I have this big bamboo stick in here just to help with that. I think what the plan is I'm just going to go through and repot it. It's just in a nursery pot right now. And it definitely does have roots coming out from the bottom, which is kind of what I was feeling like it needed a repot. But either way, let's go ahead and wiggle this fella out and see. I do want to separate the small one just because I don't feel like it needs to be in there. Whoa, yeah, no. She's ready. She's ready. Okay, I see you. I see you. You can kind of see the roots are going buck wild right now. I'm very happy. The beautiful roots. I love how vibrantly red they are. It's so cool to see. I need to decide. I think I'm just gonna put it in another, should I move it to an 8-inch pot? I don't have any like 8-inch pots though, to be honest. I only have clear pots. Should I use a clear pot? I might just use a clear pot right now and then I'll find like a better one later on. Is that what I wanna do? Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do a clear pot. Okay, we'll go with that route. I have these 8-inch ones. I got them from, I believe, Amazon at the time. I originally got them because I did my big Equigenera order and I was like, I'm gonna have to rehab these. I wanna see the roots. I wanna make sure I know what's going on a little bit more. I got them in like a pack. I don't remember how much they cost. Either way, everything that I have in those has done wonderful. I also, like I said, just enjoy being able to see the roots. It makes me feel a lot more like comfortable with it, you know? I'm just going to go through though and continue to massage most of this soil out if possible. But yeah, I shall be back very, very soon. It's been maybe like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I decided to take it to the sink just to soak it, just because I was not gonna be able to separate this one very well, but I did a pretty good job. I don't think I damaged too many of the roots for the small one, so I'm excited about that. We're definitely gonna prop this one up because look how cute it is. It was doing so good. And then we got the big one here as well too. Beautiful roots, I'm very happy. It was definitely time for this one. Here's the situation. I know I mentioned earlier that I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a clear pot. I don't want to do a clear pot. I really don't. I really want to use those just for like rehabbing and just to check on plants that like need a little bit more love. So I did some digging around and I found this big old terracotta pot. I had a philodendron bipinfolium. It was in its nursery pot, but I just had it resting in there and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna take it out. This is nice, big size. This is gonna be good for it to grow into a little bit more. I'm gonna do it in this. I think it's gonna look better. It's gonna complement the plant a little bit more. And I think I'll actually like how it looks. So With that being the case, this little guy is getting a nursery pot, like I mentioned. Should be fine overall. Before we get started, we are going to be getting kind of like our little soil setup. Oh, I don't have a bowl. Just kidding, I'm gonna use this pot. I am going to be using Dila tanks, like I mentioned before. It's a wonderful plant mix, not sponsored by any means, but I really do enjoy it. It has everything you need. Alrighty, so I got like a decent amount of the soil mix there, and then I'm gonna just add a little bit of the charcoal. I know there was a reason behind it, and I cannot for the life of me remember what the purpose of charcoal is. I know it's good in like, what is it called? Like little terrarium setups or things of that nature, but I just can't remember the exact benefits and the exact breakdown if I'm gonna be 100% honest. I also just eyeball stuff. I've never been good with measurements. And then I am gonna be adding some Osmocote. I'm only adding just a little bit in there. Even then, that's probably more than I need. Now, with that being the case, let's go ahead and grab our big ol' terracotta. Oh, that's a big chunk of cocoa husk. Nice. Probably not gonna be enough considering how tall this pot is, but still. And then it's time for our big friend to get in there. I'm gonna try to plant it a little bit lower only because I want it to be a little bit more stable, because that's kind of been the issue as of late. Sprinkle the rest of this in and then definitely make more because it wasn't enough. Let's go ahead and top this off. Like so. I'm worried that I might need to lift it up a little bit. I don't think so, but there's a chance that I might have potted it just a little too low. We're about to find out in a second. I don't think so. I think it's gonna be fine. You know what? I actually might not need to get rid of the bottom two leaves. I honestly thought they were gonna kind of be in the way, but I don't think they are. I think they're gonna be able to hang at least for a little bit longer. Of course, as time progresses and it gets bigger, it's probably gonna need more support. But if I can go a little bit longer without having to stake it or have that big old like bamboo piece like I did, I think that's a W, in my book at least. So we have it all potted up. Like I said, I think it looks so much better in the terracotta than it would have in the clear pot. Since we did this, it's time, or sorry, since we did the big one, it's time to do the small one. So let's get that going. I'm gonna get my nice little mix out here. I think I might throw this into the greenhouse. I have more room now. So I might start doing that. I mean, I say like I don't have enough room when I already have another greenhouse that's literally sitting waiting to be finished. I just need to go through and get the lightings. Like I said, it's like light and I need fans. So they're not even expensive. It's not even an expensive need. We got the soil mix here. Just gonna gently put these roots in. Like I said, I really thought I was going to destroy this one. I wasn't feeling super confident just because every time I was like trying to massage the roots and get things going, it just wasn't really doing well, you know? I felt like I was really ripping stuff up, so I was like, man, like that's a bummer. I don't think it's gonna do good. But no, I got it out and it actually has like a good little root system, so I'm super excited. I might even get a little chunk of that bamboo. Yeah, I'll do that then. Stick that all the way to the bottom. That way it can lean. And there we have it. We have the other one all potted up. It looks so good. I'm so excited. Like I said, I really thought I was gonna like mess this one up, but I think we're in the clear. So I'll give both of these a good one. I'll water everything at the end just to make life easier. With that being done, let's grab the next plant and get started on that. The next plant that I have is honestly one of my favorites. It's so pretty. I love it, and I love it in this type of like form. It's a Chinese money plant. I'm forgetting the name. It's like parchia. Oh, I should have double checked. I'm so sorry. You typically will see these like braided, which I think is why I've never really been a fan of them. I think the foliage is beautiful, but I don't like the braid. Now, I saw this in the stump form and I was like, sold. give it to me. I love this. It's so much fun. So I've had this for no more than like 6 months, and it's been growing really, really well. There's just something about it. I don't know. I love it. I think it's so fun. I think it's so freaking cool. The pot that we're putting in is equally fun and cool. I got this at my work. It was labeled as a Romney planter. I don't know if that's the brand. I don't know if that's just what they call it at work, but I still really, really enjoyed the simplicity and the color. I think it's going to complement the woody codex type base, and then of course just the green foliage. I was really fighting with this one and trying to decide, because since these leaves are pretty simple, I could put this in something that's a little bit more vibrant. I have some other pots that are a little bit more hectic. This is the setup. This is what we're working with. So let's go ahead and check this out. I don't see, there's some roots coming out from the bottom. Back we go. I'm going to make another quick little mix here. Let's see what we're working with underneath. Ooh, first looks, nothing too crazy going on. Root system doesn't look too crazy. It's definitely not like root bound by any means. So I think with this one, I am honestly not going to mess with the root systems. It's not tangled, it's not messed up. I think I am just gonna go ahead and do just this base layer here and hopefully not break anything. My other thing I need to decide, do I want to do it more like this, or do I want to have it more straight up? I don't know, what has more, this has like more character when it's on the side, I feel like, but does this look better? I like how this is my issue. This is my problem, trying to decide how I want this to look standing up or more tilted. I think I kind of like it being a little bit more up. Yeah, I think I like that. We're gonna go with this. I think this is it. I think we are all set. I am in love. I love the green on yellow. I think it complements wonderful. The like kind of woody base too, I think just looks really good with the color. I think another thing about me in regards of just plants and pots and things of that nature is I love me some color. I love me a pot that has character, but also complements the plant. I look at each plant as almost like its individual art piece. And I think certain things look better with certain plants, you know, texture-wise or colors or all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I don't know. That's my thing. You'll notice, you'll see it. There's color. There's a lot of it. But now that we have this one done, we have one more to go through and repot. And I am going to grab that one right now. I was just thinking about what I said earlier and how I contradict myself immediately. And this is why I should think before I speak. But the next plant that we are potting, or repotting I should say, is going to be this cute little Monstera Albo. I have had this in my collection for less than a year, and originally it was just this leaf, and it has given me these 3 leaves. I have had this on a south-facing window. I do like to explain when it comes to my south-facing windows, I have a screen on both of my windows, this big one and the one in the spare room, which is where this guy was living. That screen definitely diffuses the light. So I haven't had any burn issues. I haven't had any issues in regards to the leaves or the foliage or anything like that. It's been growing like crazy. You can see I had this awesome aerial root. It was so much longer, but it got pinched, so I had to cut it. I was so sad. I am just in love with this plant. I got it for like 60 bucks, which is why I committed for it. The node had some decent variegation. You can kind of see the roots have been like going ham, like, and I mean going ham. It has been progressively getting more variegation. You can see the pattern of the variegation, which is why I like talking about variegation a lot. I think it's so fascinating. You can see I had almost like this half leaf, and then you notice that I kind of got, oh, actually this was the 3rd leaf. This was the newest leaf. And then you can kind of see it wasn't as much, and it's kind of starting to spread over. There's a little bit on this side leaf, and then now we're getting variegation on both sides. I've been really happy with that. It's definitely growing, it's doing its thing. I plan on keeping it in the same spot. I've just been watching the node and seeing how the variegation has progressed. It's been super fascinating to just kind of see the changes, but it's been pushing out leaves like crazy, and it stopped, and it's been kind of in a stall for a while. And this one also came out a tad bit smaller. So that in my head is the sign that it's time to repot. And we are gonna be repotting it into a clear pot. This isn't a rehab situation, but I wanna keep tabs on this one just a little bit longer. Once I start getting, you know, the fenestrations, or even if the variegation becomes a little bit more stable, that next repot or in the future, I'll switch it over to something with more taste. a little bit more character. Until then, I want to keep an eye on it in general and whatnot. Let's take a peek. I don't know why, but I watered it earlier today for some reason, even though I knew I was going to be doing this. I love Monstera just because of how stupid thick their roots will get. I think it looks so cool. Bought it from Facebook Marketplace, so I'm gonna be real, I don't know what it's in, but it's been living and loving it like crazy. I know, I can't remember if it's for the Ticons or the Albos or both. I know people always are really worried about rotting. Like I said, I haven't had any issues. I'm a little worried about potting into something a little bit newer. I do think I might add a little bit more perlite in regards to this one. We're gonna do our same mix. We're gonna do the dilettantes, the charcoal, and I'll do a little bit of the slow release fertilizer, excuse me. I think I'm also gonna go get my bag of perlite and I'm gonna mix a good amount of perlite in there just to be on the safe side. I don't mind if this dries out a little bit quicker. I'd rather it dry out quicker than it rots. I think that's a solid reasoning to make that call. I got my mix right here. Like I said, same stuff, just I went with some perlite as well, just to make sure it stayed airy. I put a good amount of perlite in there. I was just like, and then called it a day. Cause, you know, like I said, better to have it dry out a little quicker than to sit too wet and rot. I'm just trying to kind of lightly massage the majority of this in. I guess this is also a chance for me to reduce the way that it was growing, because I could have it be a little bit more up, because the thing is it's rooting out like this. How do I want to do this? I probably should just keep it like this. It's kind of giving me like, not that it's crawling, but it kind of reminds me of like a crawling plant right now, the way that it's growing. It'd be cool to have it kind of climb up. Oh, do I want to do that? Do I have the capacity to make this happen? I don't know. I might be causing more you know what? Let's not play games. Maybe I'll mess with that in the future. Maybe then I will do something like that. But for the time being, maybe not. I'm not taking it out of the majority of the mixture because it seemed to be really happy in here. I'm kind of just filling in the gaps more than anything. I am gonna make sure that I put this node in because I do want that to activate. Well, it kind of already is activated. Like with this plant overall, I've had a lot of success. It hasn't been too hard of a time. When I did buy it, it was rooted already. So like I do say like that's probably one of the things that I would recommend if you are on the hunt or you decide, hey, I want to get something like an Albo or honestly anything that's a little bit more rare. Like you can find cuttings for good prices, but just fork out the extra and get something that's already rooted. You're gonna have such a better time unless you feel like you have it down. If you have like a method down and you're like, no, I don't need this, I'm good, I know how to do it, then like by all means go ham. Here is the final repot. It looks so cute. I love that it, like I said, it looks like it's almost like crawling through. There's a node that is like semi-activated that's kind of pushing down. So I know once that gets in there and starts to root, it's gonna stabilize it a lot more and then we'll kind of get it going. I don't plan on cutting this at all. I want to keep it the way that it is, but I am realizing because of the way it's growing and kind of just it being a little funky, there's a chance that I might end up cutting it just to adjust the growth and stuff like that. We'll kind of see. We'll see what goes on with it and things of that nature. I am gonna go and put all these ones back home and then I'm going to take you over to the shelf area and we're gonna talk a little bit more about that. I'll kind of talk about some of the pottery, the art, just the things that I have there for the time being. And yeah, so give me one sec. Here is the bookshelf like I mentioned. A lot has changed since the previous video when I kind of talked about it, but I'm gonna just talk about each kind of section, I think, and kind of break down what I have here and what's kind of going on. To start off, originally, this is where I was keeping the Monstera Albo. Not originally, I moved the Monstera Albo from the spare room into here, and I was gonna put it in this pot originally, but then I realized, no, let me do the clear pot. Let me keep an eye on it and let me keep it in its area until that variegation really starts to go and I feel more confident about it. The other plant that I have too, let me see, I'm gonna have to shimmy the camera. The other plant that I have back here is my variegated string of hearts. It does go all the way down to like the floor. I have one strand that's touching it and kind of gliding on. I think I'm gonna cut it and then I'm gonna put the hearts just in the soil here in hopes that they kind of root up that way. I've seen people do it. I don't know how good it's gonna work, but I think I'm gonna give that a shot. Plus, I just don't want them like sitting on the floor. That's like prime real estate for the cats to go off, and I don't want them to have that option. personally. And then right above me, I do have my Nepenthes Miranda. I gave her a like really detailed trim because it was needed. It was super like just grown out and I needed to be just trimmed down really well. I am kind of keeping my eyes on it. There's a couple leaves that I could still get rid of that I just haven't. I kind of want it to still feel a little bit more filled, but a lot of the new growth is going to be coming from the top area up here more than anything. So I don't know. I think I need to do more research on these. This was one of my first carnivorous plants and I was doing really good with it. Ever since the pictures died, I haven't really had a lot of success in bringing them back, but I do think if I were to pot this into something with no drainage, I think that would help retain moisture a little bit longer, and I think that might help it grow better. So my eyes are peeled for a pot. I want it to hang still, so keeping my eyes out. I think that's what I'm gonna need to do. Right up in the front here, she doesn't look hot, but this is my Anthurium Bessier. This was one of those plants that I was kind of rehabbing when I got it from Ecuagenera. It's been out of the cabinet for a long time and it's been technically doing pretty good. The last thing it did for me was it did bloom and I just cut it off. I'm not wanting to mess with Anthurium blooms right now. I want this to grow out more and I'd also like it to not be growing in such a weird form. This was the newest leaf it gave me. So in the greenhouse, it was doing super well. If I feel like it's still going down, I will probably put it back in there. But this was the first plant I took out and it was holding down pretty well. So I kind of just want to see what's going on and try to keep it out. But this leaf finally looks like it's starting to go, and then this one is actually doing pretty good. So I might cut this one back and kind of see, but my fingers are crossed I'll get a new leaf soon. That's kind of more than what I want. Here I do have flowers from Valentine's Day. I got these for my partner. They are some type of, it started with a C, I don't remember. I got them from like Sprouts. They were cute though, I really like the colors. And then I have them in this super fun vase. So it has like a blue color and then the inside's red. But what's super cool about this one is that I can actually turn this upside down if I wanted to. And I can use this red part as like a propagation. So that's kind of what sold me on it, because once these flowers pass, which honestly, I don't think they're gonna be going anytime soon. They've been kind of chugging along. Once they go through, I can turn that around and put some cuttings in there, which I love. I think that's gonna look super cute. In the back here, let me just grab it. I have my Tycon. I don't know what it was doing. So this is the newest leaf. It was like wrapped in this black mush. I originally thought this was the leaf and I was super sad about it, but as soon as I started to unpeel it and look, I was like, oh, you seem fine. So I don't know what this was. I don't know what happened. If you know or have an idea, like I'd love to hear. Either way, the leaf has been slowly unfurling, so fingers crossed. Doesn't have to be a big leaf, I just don't want it to die. That's kind of more of where I'm at the moment. But this is kind of like that top area. I'm gonna go down and I'll kind of show you what we're doing under here right now too. Start off with this little cubby here. I have this super cool pot. It's from a company called Greenery Unlimited, if I remember correctly. The pot is called Fondra. It is a self-watering pot. I know exactly what plant I'm gonna put in it. I'm just waiting for it to finish its new leaf. That's context clues to guess what plant it might be. This is a super fun one. It's a self-watering one, like I said, so it runs off of aeration stones. You put them on the bottom and then pretty much you fill up this bottom layer, and this is how it goes through and waters. So you don't really ever have to water it from the top. You're mostly just filling up that bottom area. But such a beautiful pot. I saw it and fell in love with it immediately, and I was like, I need this. Even though the plant that I have isn't ready, like, I needed it. This is like a little incense holder. It's just where I've been burning my incense in this space. I have a couple spread out throughout the apartment, so I really like the idea of having multiple spots. That way I can kind of just put, you know, burn something wherever I want to and not have to move whatever I used to burn around. Simple, but I don't know. I really like that. The company is called Commonwealth. Sorry, my nails are so gross. We just finished repotting. You get it. Commonwealth. The scent that I've been burning is oak moss plus fig. I also have eucalyptus plus sea salt. Both absolutely stunner. Never have complaints when people come over. Everyone seems to love these smells. I highly recommend them. The other thing that I have back here is my Hoya compacta variegata. So it's just basking in the sunlight back there doing its thing. Slow growing Hoya, you know, nothing super crazy. I'm in love with this one though. It's been doing pretty good for the most part. Have it back there because it's a lot of light in that spot, and if there's one plant that loves light, it's a good Hoya. That's kind of what's in this cubby. Now we're just a little bit lower. I don't have anything on this bottom one, so I'm not really going to be showing too much of it. Down here, I have just 2 items. I have this fun squiggly pot. I just love the look of it. There's no drainage holes. I can always drill some in, but I don't think I want to. I am deciding what I want to do with this one. I want to do an array of plants, I think, and I'm kind of leaning towards the idea of doing a bunch of like carnivorous plants. I think that'd be so fun. I feel like they would thrive in something like this. You know, no drainage, they'd be able to retain moisture longer. I don't know, just something about it I feel like would just make sense. I have this cute little squiggle pot. I'm holding on to it, waiting to figure out what I want to put in there. Right here, I have my Hoya Crimson Queen. We have been fighting mealybugs off for a hot minute, but it hasn't really caused any damage. They come like once a month, and then I spend like 10, 15 minutes cleaning it, and then I'm like, cool, I'll see you in another month. So I'm very unbothered by it, but it's still giving me some good growth. It's been pretty happy being in that bottom area. It usually is a little bit more taller, but I smushed it down just to fit it in here for the time being. So I'll figure out a better spot for it. It's not awful, but I would like to either find a better spot or do something more interesting with it in regards of just like a trellis kind of setup, you know? On this side here, this cubby is pretty much empty. All that I have in it right now is my Hoya Australis. I don't know what to do with it. I really don't. I want to figure out something. I just don't know what that something is. It's super long. It's still growing really good. I love it. I don't know. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I don't think I'm gonna keep it in this box. I'd rather put something else, I think, but I might take it into the spare room and do something fun in there with it. Cause it is super long and it is super pretty. And like I said, it's a really cool plant. I just need to figure out something with it. But yep, just this in the cubby. And then you can kind of see right here, I have this big fluff ball. Should I mess with him? I think I'm gonna mess with him. He'll be fine. He screams at me a lot, so he might yell. Oh, come here. I don't know if I've ever told the names of my cats. Well, it's me and my partner's cats. This is my technical cat. This is Roxas. He's mean, but he is my favorite and I love him and I would die for him. He was in a big old sleepy mood, so he's looking at me a little upset that I woke him up. He knows I love him. And it's just because I like to mess with him. All right. We'll put him back down here. This is pretty much the majority of this area, so we'll just keep shimmying down and we'll keep talking about the little details and things like that right now. Here is the next area. You can kind of see it's hard to get a good angle with good lighting and not make it look messy, but right here you can kind of see this is where I have the Chinese money tree. It's doing pretty good in this area. It doesn't get direct light. It used to be on a south facing window and it was getting a lot of light, but it's so bright with these windows that I know it's chilling. It's having a good time. Right underneath here is my Syngonium milk confetti. I just placed it here. This was my way of trying to block the cats from jumping up because they've been curious and kind of jumping in and looking around. It's been doing good. This was also on that south facing window. It gave me an all pink leaf, which was kind of fun to see. I just kind of been chilling with it. I've learned, and I say that I learned, but I don't think I did. I get really invested in Syngoniums and I think they're super cool, and then I get it and I'm like, okay. And then I don't care. And I feel really bad because they're cool plants. I'm just kind of letting it chill. I need to make a decision on what I want to do with it at some point, but right now it's kind of just blocking this jump way. Behind it, I have oh my gosh, it's an Elefante, but I can't remember. I think it's Discordi. Man, I'm butchering it. I need to double check. I know a part of the name is Elefante. It is a codex plant, not coax. I'll sometimes say coax, like the cable that you use for Wi-Fi. It's just been chilling. I had it originally up on the top area, but I wanted to get more light. I just got it recently. It was a gift from a friend. It was like a late birthday gift, but it's honestly one of my favorites right now. It might be just because it's new, but I have been wanting one forever. So I'm really excited I finally have one in my collection. Since it's slapping me in the face, I did pull out my Anthurium veitchii and I have it just over in this space right now. I still haven't decided if I want it here or if I would pot it here. I just wanted something to fill in and this is what was speaking to me. Right now it's still in its little orchid pot. I just have it sitting in this bigger pot here. I love this pot so much. I believe the pot was called like Ayton. Ayton, Ayton. Each one is individually hand painted, which I think is super cool, and it just has so much character and it has such beautiful colors. I really enjoyed it for that. I'm thinking about putting the Veitchii in here, but I don't know. I'm not really trying to pot the Veitchii anytime soon. It was in that cabinet for so long. I want to give it time to get used to the space. And also I'm just kind of watching it to see if it looks like it's starting to struggle because of too much light, then I also might pull it back and find a new home for it as well too. This is mostly that area, and then underneath in this cubby here, there's nothing yet. So nothing going on down there. We will look at the last main little bookshelf area up here. So up on this top area here, first thing you see right away is this beautiful jasmine plant. It is in the middle of blooming and you can smell it when you walk by. It's so beautiful. I just love how dangly it is. Now, I did mess up and I'm so mad. I let it, I was like a day late to watering it. So a lot of the blooms dried out and I'm so upset because these only bloom around this time of the year. It's like kind of like late winter, beginning of spring, if I recall, and then afterwards they just exist. They like to stay a little bit more moist. Mine dried out just a little too much, and so a lot of that browning is because of that. I originally thought it was too much light, found out the hard way. It was really sad, but hey, life goes on. Right in this corner here, I have my peperomia. I think it's a radiance, peperomia radiance. I got it, and I just remember seeing it had peperomia on it, and I wasn't even sure if I was gonna like it, but I actually love this plant a lot. It's grown out, and since it's grown out, I feel like it has a lot more character. It's a really cool one, pretty easy. I just have it right in this top corner here. Right away, you can probably see it. I have this really big philodendron moonlight. It's been thriving, it's been doing great. Right now, it's just in a little nursery pot. The pot is cracked. I got it for free at work, and so right now I need to go through and see about fixing it. So once I commit and do that, we'll be up in business. In the far back corner is my Hoya linearis. I have it just kind of flowing behind, and it looks so good. I freaking love it so much. I know they like a lot of light. I'm just letting it chill there. It's already kind of cascading. You can see it all the way down to these bottom ones, which is super cool. This is mostly the top area. I also have my humidifier. I typically have this running for the most part of the day, and I refill it maybe about once every day to 2 days. With it on and running consistently, I'm averaging about like 65, sometimes 70% humidity, which sometimes I get worried if it's too much in the space. I don't notice, and neither does my partner. Sometimes people come over and they're like, wow, it feels like more like moist in here. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a good sign. I feel like that's probably not a good sign. So I probably should cut back, but it's also me just trying to slowly acclimate like the Veitchii, acclimate the Bessier, and like try to get them used to a little bit lower humidity if possible, or just slowly get them more comfortable in the space. We'll see how it goes. I can smell the jasmine, it smells so freaking good. I like to add little knickknacks and stuff as time progresses, but I don't wanna just go and buy a bunch of random stuff. I'd rather collect them and have them be a little bit more like storytelling, if that makes sense. So we're gonna go down to these next 4 here. On this top area here, I have this cute little Dischidia. It did die back a little bit in the back area. I don't know what caused it to do so. It's been chilling for the most part, but unfortunately that happened. This was a gift, so anytime I get gifted a plant, I take it very seriously. For it to not like die or anything bad happen. I'm slowly kind of letting it do its thing. I don't mind keeping it in this size, but I also wouldn't mind maybe going through and putting it in something smaller. If not, I'm also tempted to cut maybe a strand or two, maybe some of the smaller ones, put them in the back and see if I can get them to root up that way, just to fill it in a little bit. These 2 books are specifically they're my partner's books. He really loves Elden Ring, so for Christmas I got him the official art book. It was 2 volumes. I had to get this shipped out from Japan because I don't think they had like an English version yet, or they still don't have an English version yet. I was super happy when he brought them out because I want this to be like a mixture of stuff of like mine and his. They're just cool visual books that talk about like just, you know, the character design, the concepts, all that kind of fun stuff. I did have a plant on top, but then I took it away because I was scared I was gonna mark the covers. I still wanna add some more stuff up here. I just don't know what, and I don't wanna force it to just be complete. It's in a point where there's stuff there, it looks good, and I now rather just add and just slowly adjust as time progresses. And then I have this cute little like crystal jar thingy. I got it from like the Renaissance Festival a long time ago. I've always just had it, so that's here. And then right next to it, I have my philodendron tortum cutting. It's doing good, it's rooting up pretty well. I'm tempted to put it in like leca, like keep it in here, but do leca, because I think it'd be kind of a cute look, and just let the roots grow out more and then just plot it in soil. I have this alocasia black velvet. This is getting sold, so it's not gonna be here for long. I'm gonna have to figure out something with this. There is that. On this side here, I have this philodendron, heartleaf philodendron. Oh my God. So far, it's doing pretty good. There are some like weird little specks, and I can't tell what they are. They honestly kind of look like mealies to me, but I don't think mealies can survive underwater, so it could be something else. It's been living in this bottle forever, and it's been doing pretty good. Right next to it, I have this very cool pot. This was the other pot I was potentially gonna put the money tree in, just because, like I said, with such a clean foliage, it wasn't going to be super distracting. The pot is kind of what's a little bit more distracting, but I just like the colors, the texture. I thought it looked really fun, so I had to get it. I'm still trying to decide what's gonna go in there, and if I don't have anything, I will hold down until it's time. And then behind the pot, I have this Scindapsus. I really don't remember what kind it is. It's kind of vining down, so I don't wanna pull too much, but maybe I can just like sneak it out. It's a type of Scindapsus. Like I said, I don't recall the exact name, unfortunately, but I've had it for a hot minute. It's always just been kind of chilling. I don't care for it to get bigger. I kind of like it being small. I think it's cute. It's just been chilling in this windowsill, and I've just been letting it kind of vine down overall. That's gonna be this section, and then we only have a couple more down here, and that will be a wrap. This is the last section. This is kind of just a mishmash. This is probably the most mishmash of a spot. My partner just got me this, and I'm in love with it. It's a Miyazaki book. It's just like an illustrated breakdown of just a lot of the different work that he has done. It's so cool. There's a lot of just like original sketches and things of that from My Neighbor Totoro, movies and shows. One of my absolute favorite Ghibli movies is Ponyo. I just got this last night, and I haven't even really gotten to go through it, but I was like, this needs to go onto the bookshelf. It's just such a cool book, and I love seeing these original sketches. Like I said, visual books are my thing. I realize I am not the biggest book reader. I'm gonna be blunt. I know if I find a good book, I probably would read it. It's just not something I've done in a long time, but I love things that I can read and visually see. It brings me a lot more joy. I don't know, maybe that's a bad thing, but things like this, I absolutely adore. I have this just propped up here for the time being. I don't plan on keeping it here. I want to show it off a little bit more. The other thing I have is this interesting like pot. It was broken, but I don't know what was broken, so I got it for free. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to stand up like this, and then you put something up here, and then there's like a drainage hole, but it goes all the way down, and then this is blocked. So I really don't understand this pot. Maybe it is supposed to go like this, but either way, I just turned it sideways, and I have it resting on the back side here, just because it is a bunch of different shapes and textures, and I kind of like it. If I had the courage, I would absolutely cut it into 4 pieces and then lay them out in different ways, because I feel like that would look cool, but I don't trust myself to do that. These 2 bottom ones are empty for the time being. I did decide that I think when this alocasia goes, I think I'm gonna get a cute little lamp. And I think I want a lamp, because I have lighting in all the different corners. This will be like the only corner that doesn't really have any type of lighting, and I feel like it would look so cute to have like a cute little lamp in here. So I think that's gonna be what happens up there. That's pretty much the breakdown of the bookshelf and like where I'm at with it. Like I said, it came out so good. I am very much in love. There's a couple things I still need to do with it. Like I said, lift it up, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Now it's just the game of time and just waiting to see what I find and what gets moved here, what gets changed. It's going to be an ever-changing area, which I'm cool with. I love change and I love moving stuff around. That is going to be it for the video today. Thank you so much for hanging out and just watching me repot and talk more about the bookshelf. As you can tell, it's something that has been bringing me a lot of joy, and I'm really excited to see what happens in the future with it. If you like the video, definitely don't forget to subscribe, give me a good old thumbs up, share it with someone that you think might enjoy the video. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night, wherever you may be, and I'll catch you soon. Later.